Yo, and welcome back to Semen Retention. It has been a while. I don't know, maybe a couple of weeks even. I just haven't really had the time to actually post something. I've still been on my SR journey, still retaining, doing my thing. I've been very busy with my music. Been playing stacked up gigs. I'm talking long days, like 12-hour days of music, which is kind of unheard of. Like you go to your local scene and see your local musicians perform. You know, they might do one set for 45 minutes and they're like, oh man, that was tiring, man. That was like, took it out of me. And then you might go see a dude like myself that does the acoustic set and he does the 3 hours in like the restaurant or the hotel or, you know, the bistro, the club, whatever. And then he does his 3 sets and he's like, oh man, that was brutal, bro. Oh, I'm so cooked, bro. I'm so cooked. And then there's me doing 5 hours from 10 a.m. till 3 p.m. driving for an hour and a half, and then doing another 5 hours from 5 p.m. till 10 p.m., stacking up 10 hours worth of performing to the people, to the world, performing for the masses. Let's go. So semen retention is what gave me that energy. Now, I want to go on the point in regards to the beautiful life of semen retention, right? So let's think about it. There's a few things that I think there's like the beautiful life kind of encapsulates within this experience of semen retention, okay? So I've listed it down right here below me, below the camera, I should say, which is synchronicities, opportunities, creativity, mastery, health, intellect, social character / magnetism, emotional regulation, attraction, you know, from other people, they are attracted to you, which you could probably tie into magnetism, but I want to talk about them differently. And then female / feminine or femininity, and children and the elderly. Okay, so you're probably thinking that's just a really random list. Well, okay, we'll figure out how this beautiful life and semen retention ties into each kind of topic, right? So the first thing is probably the most important. Synchronicities. Synchronicities, you know, a lot of people talk about them on the internet and, you know, everyone's kind of come up with their own thing. I think the most apt way that I've ever heard synchronicities be described is actually through the word coincidence. So we've actually learnt the term coincidence wrong. I think this might actually have been potentially deliberately pushed into our society as to perceiving the definition of coincidence, you know, incorrect. So what a coincidence is a co-incidence. So co meaning two, like as in collaboration, cooperate, two things working together, right? So co, and then you got incident, incidents, okay? An event, an incident, something occurred, it's an incident, yeah? So the co-incident is when two things cross. There's a meeting point between two pathways and they cross, and in that center point is the incident. Of the co's, of the twos, right? So synchronicities on semen retention, you're going to have more of those interconnecting points. And the way that I see it is that each interconnecting point is almost like a checkpoint. It's a checkpoint along your journey of ascension. It's just a checkpoint along your journey of becoming. I talked about in a previous video, way back on my first few videos of semen retention, I talked about instead of coming into the world, like how we did when we weren't practicing semen retention, if you catch my drift, instead of coming into the world, we are becoming, because we are holding it in, and therefore we are becoming rather than outcoming. We're not coming out, we are becoming, yeah? So as we become, we go up, 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 up to reach that higher self, that self-realization, that individualization, that, you know, that top tier, that Christ consciousness, the Kundalini keeps rising, right? And those synchronicities are those checkpoints. And I had to think about it literally just before I press record, and this will lead on to my next point, opportunities, is that God always has some sort of, plan. And it's not a backup plan, it is the master plan. It is the main plan, is the undeniable pathway for your soul. And what happened is, I remember working this cafe job when I was 19 years old. Everyone about my age was doing, jobs like that. Before I was working there, I actually used to do some gigs and all that kind of stuff, but I wasn't really taking it seriously. And then I remember getting let off at this cafe job or something, and the vibe of that job was really weird. I didn't really get along with the people, and I just remember rocking up to a shift and they said, "Oh yeah, we took your name off the roster." And I'm like, "What?" It's like, "Oh yeah, so yeah, you don't have to work today." And I'm like, "Okay." So I missed out on making money that day. Got home, and then I saw a gig opportunity pop up, and then I got the gig. And then next thing you know, I'm earning more money that day than I would have if I was working at the cafe. And that is one of those kind of opportunities, right? Whereas a synchronicity is kind of like, say, I'm thinking about someone, and then I see someone walk past that looks just like them, and it makes me think of it. And I'm just thinking that a lot of these things, these signs, sometimes, or I reckon not sometimes, these signs are telling you that this is important. This is something that needs your attention, okay? Going back to another previous video, I said how like semen retention, it's about attention, retention, and intention. So, these kind of things are all part of semen retention, all part of this beautiful life, okay? So we'll get on to opportunities now on semen retention and why it creates such a beautiful life. Like, I remember just before I started this long streak, I was kind of on and off with this situationship, and then kind of got to the point where I was just like, yep, I'm done. And then ever since that moment, like, I don't know, now it's probably been like a year and a half at least, of more than that actually, but about a year and a half of basically practicing SR and removing myself from those kind of people, I noticed that opportunities are just really becoming more and more intense, and like more and more are coming. And the funny thing is that you, like on these synchronicities and those coincidences, these checkpoints, as you go up these checkpoints, the opportunities you got lower on, they no longer can come up with you here. So those opportunities that you got on SR, on day 30 or whatever, they're not going to last up here when you're on, day 350, right? It no longer like has the frequency to align to that anymore, because you're rising that Kundalini, you're rising that Christ consciousness, you're rising that frequency so high that level there is no longer part of this ultra vibrant, ultra beautiful lifestyle that you've got going on in this beautiful life of semen retention. Next thing is creativity. So creativity, man, like, I do these videos as a bit more of a fun kind of thing. I like doing, like, setting up the camera and having a bit of a yarn. To my international friends out there, a yarn in Australia just means just having a chat, talking shit, So creativity, it's just, as a musician on semen retention, I can't tell you. The funny thing is that I think I'm creating less song ideas, which you're probably thinking, oh, that's not good. But actually, I'm creating really good songs instead. So in the past, I used to have, libraries full of voice memos and all this kind of stuff and this and that, flicking around. Or this is a 15-second recording of me going, and then it would be titled on my voice memo being like, cool bass line idea 305, and it's like, nothing came out of it, so like all I was doing was just building a library of trash. I was building a dumpster. Like I just had a big fat garbage bin full of shit. But now what I'm doing is, I'll have that idea and then I kind of come from a perspective of a songwriter rather than just an ideas guy. I have a perspective as a songwriter and I go in with that ultra sharp semen retention focus, that laser vision, that boom, and go in there and then I just create the song. And a lot of the time I've found that I've become really good at simplifying the process and speeding it up. Okay, so in the past, and now this is going to tie into the next point of mastery, part of the beautiful life of semen retention. Mastery, as a songwriter, I'm using semen retention to simplify the process of creating songs. And then what happens is I also shed layers. I shed these shells of my former self that I no longer need to slow down this process of becoming. Once again, I've used that word, becoming, self-actualization, becoming, self-realization, becoming, So I've released all this stagnant kind of slow energy that's just like, it makes the process really slow and lethargic, and then I'm sitting behind the computer being like, and it's just not working, you know what I mean? Whereas I grab the guitar, have a little strum, and then suddenly I've got a song straight away. And I don't even touch the phone. I don't even record it. I sit there with a pen and a notepad and I write it down. Mastery on semen retention, or in my case, semen retention. By the way, if you're really liking this video, feel free to subscribe. I'm liking the vibe of this one actually quite a lot. So subscribe to the channel, have a like, have a comment. How you going? So, mastering, why I use a pen and paper is, again, this is another good tip for my fellow creatives and writers out there, even people that are just wanting to put their thoughts onto paper. The act of using, I want to talk about movement, okay, real quickly. Moving, the movement of creating letters and shapes and, doodles, all that is important in that Kundalini rising process, okay? As a performer, if I was to stand, holding the guitar like this guitar is kind of heavy, like it's not a light guitar by any means, and I'm just like that all day, and I'm singing into the microphone, for 3 hours, I'm gonna feel very sore. Now, if I sat down, I might not feel very sore, but I feel very tired and stagnant. Now, the important thing about Kundalini is this what you need to understand, is the semen, the pressure that kind of building up inside you needs to move around. So, and then what you do is you move that into the activity that you're doing. So in my case, playing guitar, I can amplify, I can create a larger electromagnetic type of field and influence over the masses by actually moving with that. So compare it to this. Okay, now compare it to this. See, I created a bit more of a subtle pulse. And you can put this into your sport, you can put this into, doing your yoga, you can do this into your running, You get your fingers on the pulse. Semen retention allows, I just saw a dragonfly. I don't know what that means, but that's cool. I use semen retention as to getting into the rhythm of things, yeah, the rhythm. And that's why on my video right now, I'm barefoot. I'm trying to give myself some space in the room. I'm trying to open myself up energetically because I want this video to be good. I want it to roll. I want it to, feel free. So that's part of mastery on semen retention. I feel like, I don't even know if I'm going to get through these next points, but who cares? This could be a long video. Who cares? All right, so next is health, right? So me personally, I'm healthy. I might not have, a fully shredded body. I have a body that is perfect for what I need to do right now, which is perform long gigs, have a strong aerobic capacity, have a strong, throat, have a strong lungs, I've got good diaphragm strength. I've got some good abdominal strength as well. And then, there's still layers of fat. I still have some muscles and all that kind of stuff, but I'm sleeping all right. I get up pretty easily. There's always ways you can improve your health from an aesthetic point of view. But if you get the fundamentals down, the semen retention is just going to help you kind of get there. And the one thing that I realize is that, I'm not taking any supplements. I'm not doing any kind of crazy things. I'm not trying to speed track my journey. I just think that give me 5 years on this, and I will be shredded. I will be ripped and all that kind of stuff. But right now, my priority's been a bit more about my career and my music. And also dealing with the emotions and the spiritual side of conquering those demons and those shadows that we once were living in, or I was at least. So health will lead you to that beautiful life when you're on semen retention. So intellect as well. I do Sudoku every single day. The timing feels effortless. I write music, it feels great. I'm solving problems. I'm learning new things. I'm learning accounting. I'm learning how to use the tax system. I'm learning, optimizing things. I'm educating myself. It's so easy. It's so easy. Okay, we're gonna speed roll through these because I reckon this video has gone on long enough now. Social character and magnetism, and I'm going to tie that into attraction as well. Okay, so your social character becomes a bit more, potent, refined. You become a bit more easy. You just become relaxed. You can still have an upbeat kind of energy that I've got right now, but you're not coming from that needy kind of desperate energy that a lot of people kind of have, and you're also not coming from that pessimistic, doomer kind of energy that a lot of people have. So on one side, you've got the kind of depressed kind of and those people that always have to complain about something, or they always try and give you some kind of advice. And then there's the other side, which is that needy kind of desperate people that are overcompensating and trying to please you too much and stuff. And it's just it's okay. You don't have to say sorry every single 2 seconds. Semen retentions allow you can just relax. You're going to become the perfect role for that environment, right? So at one of my gigs, dealing with a lot of people, I have the smile going, just this light, inviting, open energy. If people want to interact with me, I'm not walking up to people and be like, hey, how's your day going? It's just no, I don't. And I don't walk up to people and be like, oh, I saw that you liked, that one performance. Can you please and follow, subscribe and follow my music career? And, I'm actually offering a 15% off discount for bookings right now. But it's no, you don't need to do that. That's cringe. Dude, seriously, the one thing I've learned, and this again ties into magnetism now, magnetism on semen retention is you don't have to chase. You don't have to push for the lead. You don't have to push for the sale. You don't have to push for the opportunity. It's just going to come to you, bro. Part of becoming is allowing things to come to you rather than you coming. So that is the magnetism aspect of semen retention. And it's going to give you the beautiful life. You know, things are just going to rise up. Your garden's going to grow. You're going to feel free. You're going to feel like things are working for you, you know, and that's a great feeling to have. Now, attraction. Attraction, this can come from any human being or, you know, living being. Okay, so, I mean, the female attraction is undeniable. You're going to get attraction from females, no doubt. As a musician, I see women married, single, young, old. You know, I see that they're attracted to me, literally falling over onto me at times. Like on the weekend when I was playing my gig, and this lady was just like, she was pretty cute. She was probably a little bit older than me, maybe 10 years or something like that. But she was dancing really hard and really doing all the moves, and she was eyeing me down and stuff, and I was giving her back because it's part of the performance, right? Part of being a musician and stuff is that I play with the energy. I like playing with the sexual energy. I don't look at her and think, oh, I got to quickly finish this song so I can ask her out. No. We're going to jam. We're going to jam. We're going to ride this energy. We're going to keep riding with it. We're going to play it with you. And then I'm going to turn away. I'm not going to look at you. Cool. Yeah, that's it. I'm jamming. I'm loving this vibe. That's it. Yeah, cool. Just wanted to remind you that I'm here to play music, right? So, and then you play with that. And then sometimes, literally in her case, she toppled over onto my microphone and over my speaker and stuff and fell on the ground. And she was just like lying on the ground, looking up at me, laughing or whatever. And I was just like, you are a funny little, you know. But anyway, so that's that magnetism and that attraction on semen retention. I never had crazy stuff like that happen when I wasn't on SR. But I've told you guys about the Spanish girl on the boat from January this year and stuff, and how she basically said to me at the end of the gig, "I'm free tonight," you know, and it was just like that kind of stuff. Like it's hot. What can you say? It's great getting that kind of like level of attraction and stuff. But let's move on. So emotional regulation, and this can tie into what we just talked about, you know, attraction. It's just like, you know, you turn away and you're like, you know, yeah, I'm here to play my gig. I've got another gig tomorrow morning. You know, I've got to be up at 8 a.m. I've got to have my breakfast. I've got to, you know, have a shower. Got to get changed. Got to drive to my next gig at 10 a.m. So I got to go to bed. So my emotions are regulated and saying, you know what? Yep, cool. Thank you for showing me that attraction. I appreciate you. But yeah, I got to move on. I got to go to my car and go home. That's it. You know, like you got that. You become cold because you're like, I've got goals. Sorry, girl. I've got things to do. Like, I could stick around here with all these other people and have cigarettes and beers and, you know, maybe a little puff of marijuana. It's just like, no, thank you all. I'm glad you all had a great night. I'm going to bed. Emotional regulation, semen retention, beautiful life. Last couple of things, female/feminine energy. Now, this is different to attraction. This is about really becoming masculine in that divine type of masculine archetype and being really like just in love with the fact that females and feminine energy exist. Like to know that when they're operating in that, like, you know, that real pure type of, you know, feminine kind of energy where they're having a lot of fun, or maybe they've like spent a lot of time, you know, making themselves look pretty, you know, wearing nice clothes. I was playing at a blossom orchid this week, and a lot of females that were attracted to me, and I was attracted to them, and just watching them on on the grass, lay down, just enjoying my performance, and I'm just like, whoa, this is nice. Like this is, I'm appreciating the beauty. It's like springtime, the flowers are blooming and all that kind of stuff. And you look at some of these women, you're like, well, you are beautiful. Like, and with that being said, there are plenty of females out there that aren't beautiful as well. They're not, they haven't taken care of that feminine aspect of themselves, and they're, you know, but that's besides the point. The point is that that female energy, you really start to appreciate it as for what it is. You don't need to feel like, you know, oh, why are they so lazy, and why do they only just have fun, and why do they only care about being pretty, which is like that kind of doomer, kind of red pill kind of perspective. It's more just like, no, they are gorgeous. They should be appreciated, but not worshipped and idolized. So the next thing, last thing, children and elderly people. Children are so pure, so beautiful. You know, they're so they really want to feel accepted by an adult, and you can tell when they want to kind of like, you know, come into your presence. But us as the bigger kind of, you know, more threatening people, being adults, stronger, you know, all that kind of stuff, we have to make children feel protected. And to no surprise, when you're on semen retention, you are going to be that protective figure. You are also going to be like the cool guy, the inspiration. You're going to be the hero. You're going to be the dude that allows them to have fun. You're going to be the guy that, like, you know, they want to share things to. They want to show you their toy. You know, they want to show you their dance moves. You know, all that kind of stuff. And that's the beautiful thing about, you know, semen retention, is that you have this pure energy that the children are going to resonate with. And with elderly people as well, they're going to feel comfortable. They're going to be like, oh, this guy's actually respecting me for my age, for my wisdom. They're respecting me for my, you know, my years. And, you know, they are being present with me, because, you know, we shouldn't just look at people around us as opportunities. We shouldn't just look at people around us as, you know, as little pawns that we can just create some sort of like thing to, you know, become more powerful in. We should also look at people in a way of, okay, this person's lived their life, they've gone through their struggles, I'm going to listen to them. If you've got the time to listen to people, listen to them. As a retainer, trust me, you're going to be all ears. You're going to have that patience. You'll be friendly. You won't waste all your time if you feel like someone's just, you know, complaining or something like that. But a lot of these elderly people are quite alone and stuff like that. So that empathy side of you is going to come through. You're going to be respecting your elders. You've got a lot you can learn from your elders as well. So just remember that as well. But that is it. That's the beautiful life of semen retention. I am Stephen Retention. Like this video if you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching till the end. Subscribe if you want to catch up for more videos. Check out all my other videos as well. I'm definitely going to have another video probably this week, I reckon, 100%. And yeah, we're going to cover some different things. But until next time, catch you on the next video.